So Ponyboi takes place on Valentine's Day in New Jersey, and it's about a intersex sex worker named Ponyboi, who has a drug deal that goes wrong and must run from the mob. And in that, he must confront parts of his past that he's sort of been neglecting. I This story has been with me in some way, shape, or form for the last decade. Starting out as a performance piece in when I was at NYU at as my senior thesis for drama school that I wrote and directed. It was much weirder then and more like avant-garde, but that was the root of it. And then it's gone through two different short iterations. One being the 2019 short that went to Tribeca, and then, yeah, then I wrote the feature film. So it's been a long journey that's spanned since 2013. Me and Mark Ankner and Trevor Wall, our producers, when we were looking for directors, we were looking for someone who initially we wanted the director to be someone of the community, a queer person. And in our search, Esteban's understanding of the Latinx narrative and the first generation immigrant narrative, which is a large part of why Ponyboy can't really understand himself because he sees himself through the expectations of his Latinx family. Esteban was just the perfect candidate that spoke so heartfully and soulfully about that aspect of Ponyboy's identity, on top of just brilliantly conceiving different visual and stylistic devices to differentiate different parts of the intertwining narratives that Ponyboy that the film has. You know, it's not just about Ponyboy running from the mob. There's the storyline of Ponyboy looking for his hormones. There's a storyline, the love story with Bruce, with Vin. You know, it's like he had a way of kind of knowing intuitively and also collaboratively what the movie needed.
It was one of those scripts that when I read it, I couldn't believe it was like that it fell into my lap. Like I was just very like I was like, what is this? This is like fantastic. And with Vinny, I mean, I immediately had like a way into the character. Like, well, just I had it on lock, which is we were just cracking up. He just told me for the first time ever last night that he was like, I'm not sure about Dylan, which is so funny, but you know, which I get. But yeah, I just like I really had the character. I mean, knew exactly like what role I would play to this piece. I thought the piece was beautiful. I thought it was one of the best scripts I've read in years, and I was like, "How? Why is this available for me to have a shot at?" Which is I'm just so presently grateful for. And then and Victoria too was already attached as Angel. So my first read, I got to picture Victoria in it, and Victoria and I had worked together years prior. And I really, really loved and respected Victoria, and just like immediately was excited to see her in this role too. Like I was like, oh, she would destroy this. And just a place of comfort too, just like where I was like, this is somebody I already trust and like I've worked with and like really admire and love, you know. And then yeah, and then just meeting, you know, River and Esteban really sealed it. I just like loved them and just felt the heart through the, you know, through the screen in the meeting, and I was just like, I want to go make a movie with these people and go tell the story, you know, no doubt.
Charlie is the head bitch in charge. And basically, Ponyboy's the head bitch in charge, but like Ponyboy enters into a space where they are no longer the head bitch in charge. And they like kind of have to collaborate in survival with Charlie to get what they need. And it's really beautiful because Charlie is somebody who wanted a thing in a world that didn't believe they deserved a thing. And so is Ponyboy. And like, I think both of them meeting in a place where they both get to walk away with having something that they needed, regardless of whether they knew they needed it. I think is a really powerful testament to what community means for Ponyboy's survival and success, and also other people. And it was really cool to see Charlie be able to do that. Um, but yeah, Charlie is somebody that seems to be very resourceful and uh, eager to help. But I think like they were taken back, I think, by their own ignorance of Ponyboy's experience, and I think that's what made that's the opportunity that Charlie got to walk away with having receiving something they didn't know they needed, and it helped them be a better caretaker. Um, the dynamic that Ponyboy brought to Charlie, I think, helped Charlie's heart to soften. And yeah, like Ponyboy, it's really beautiful because I haven't seen the movie yet, but it seems, and based on the script, like basically Ponyboy is not only moving through the story trying to change their own life for the better, but they're also changing other people's lives as they move through it. And I love that we get to see that through Charlie's experience with them. I also just wanted to say head bitch in charge because it felt like that language needed to be there. But I just want to say Ponyboy is actually the head bitch in charge.
Angel goes on a really incredible journey over the course of this film. I think she goes from being a bit, even though she exists in a world where she's often, in a survival state, she still has kind of a romantic idea of what her life can be. And she's confronted with a lot of truths because of the bravery of Ponyboy. And she takes it on, I think, primarily as a strong sense of duty to the child that she's carrying and protecting that life. And it's that combination of the discomfort that comes from facing the truth, this person.
Oh my god. Because we needed you to be in the world. Honey, the story needed you to be.
I really love Angel, and she suffers a lot over the course of this story, but she comes out a stronger person, and a better friend, and like, I mean, it's really beautiful to see a friendship. It's really incredible to play supporting to a story that's important like this. Angel isn't perfect. She doesn't see the truth immediately, but she finds her way there. And yeah, the ability to, when you're playing supporting, you go into every scene kind of knowing a lot more about how you're supposed to serve the scene and forward our protagonist, our hero's journey. And yeah, it's just it was very exciting to imagine that. I know these women, and I have loved them and admired their fabulousness and beauty. I'm from the Northeast, so yeah, I just think it's really was really always very exciting to embody somebody so powerful, so feminine, so soft and so strong. She's I feel like she's as soft as she can be at every moment and as strong as she needs to be when she needs to be.
Yeah, like unapologetically feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victoria, I just want to say, I'm just like, this is one of the things I just love so much about you, and have like learned so much about you, or from you. You know what I mean? From the first time I worked with you, I've never met anyone who feels more deeply than you do, and especially like in context of your art and our work, and like when we're at set, you make it just like oh my God. Even just like watching you speak about your character, like I was just like, you make me feel, man. Like I'm just like, I love how devoted you are. I love the person you are and the heart you have. It's just like you're just unbelievable.
It's pretty
I can't believe
beyond.
you blow my mind.
Yeah, I think one of the most beautiful things about this script that struck me was that friendship, Ponyboy and Angel, and how that friendship goes from being at the peak, BFFs, and then it breaks down, and then it transforms into something much more deep. And working with Victoria, just like before every scene, we would talk about like what is she feeling, and I could see Victoria always like touching her belly because she's pregnant, and that to me just like it just says so much about how an actor becomes in tune with the feelings and makes it real. And that to me felt like another league. It really did.
Totally.
So kudos.
I think the true love story in Ponyboi actually is like the dynamic between Ponyboi and Angel, and I think that gets overlooked sometimes. How love between friends, even if there's a breakdown, or how deep and medicinal and transformative friendship can be in becoming who you want to be, and it's community really. Um, and I think I just got so lucky with this cast, with the three of them. It was just, I couldn't have asked for better people to work with.
And Mary Bartlett, who's here
And
in
Murray
spirit.
Bartlett, who I will be FaceTiming as soon as we premiere, because he's 9 hours ahead in Germany right now. So we'll be FaceTiming him
still
from the
never met him.
stage. Oh my God.
He's a very wonderful guy.
Murray.
Yeah.
Murray.
You should meet him
Good
sometime.
time.
Murray, who I lovingly call Mom,
He's
is
funny.
the best human in the world.
He's great. How do you feel knowing the relationships that you created between the cast and the characters that you made? How does it feel to see someone like Victoria so deeply invested and connected and in sync with something that you made? Like in this moment,
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Yeah. I mean, as a writer, it's writing, I've always felt, was my initial like bread and butter, rice and beans. It is what sustained my soul very early on in my life, like writing poetry, writing short stories since I could write, essentially. And so to write something in the format of a screenplay that could then give different artists like you guys, but also the crew, costumes, makeup, like a jumping off point to be artists and to be so enthralled and alive in their artistry because they were so inspired by the words that I wrote is just the most gratifying experience I could feel as an artist. I think something I realized on this set was that as a writer, you're creating opportunities for people, And so I've been telling them this whole weekend that this is probably the happiest weekend of my life, the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I hope that radiates tonight when we premiere and on screen and in the friendships that we've all cultivated from the movie.